the boardroom is in use with computer training.
Oh, no, and I wouldn't want to do that anyways because I get the afternoon off work. So I already had it planned to have it off. So
Okay.
I'd rather do it this way than reschedule, but it's always nice to see people in person.
Yeah, right, exactly. Welcome. Good afternoon, Jan.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. We're just waiting a couple moments here still for the full committee to get on board.
Haven't been to one of these done this way for quite a while.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's few and far in between. I know of a couple folks who are going to be out, but Kathleen Coughlin should be here. We're expecting her and Janet Convoy and Scott.
Hey, Chris, it's Kathleen. I'm here.
All right. Thanks, Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, got it. Got it. You're hiding in that tile, all right. Well, we have our quorum here with myself included, but I'm going to give it one more minute here because of the nature of the meeting here being on Zoom. Folks might be a little bit out of practice, so we'll give Janet and Scott another moment here to try to get on. But at 4:02, I'll start this off, and then those folks could join in if they so arrive. Well, we could get started here. As usual, they probably will show up. We have our quorum, and this is the Recreation Committee meeting, of course. Thanks, everyone, for coming to your computer screens again. And I don't think we'll have any visitors or guests here. I can't see any of those dialed in. So that'll bring us just to our regular amenity reports. And we could start those off with the reports from Deborah. Deborah has Branchwood and Loch Lomond Recreation Complex. So Deborah, if you would do the honors and give us those reports.
Yep, thank you, Chris. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. All right, we'll start with Branchwood. I was out there on a Sunday afternoon about 12:30. It was a really pretty day weather-wise. Just about everything out there was in use. We had pickleball going on, basketball, lots of walkers. The fitness area was pretty slow. There were only 2 people in there. The pool was pretty active. One of the racquetball courts was in use. There were several groups playing disc golf. And the area, the grounds, everything was in really good shape. I have to tell you, if you stand back and you look out at the new pickleball courts and that new shade cover, that area just looks so nice, so professional, really well done, really put together. So kudos to everybody that worked so hard on that. Unfortunately, your grass that's planted is getting walked on. So it looks like they cut the orange fence to try to get access to the shade. And then by doing that, they're walking on the grass and knocking down the rest of the fence. So got a little trampled, unfortunately. And then I just want to say that last month, the areas that I had noted for review, just about everything has been addressed. And above and beyond that, the few things that were not, Nicole took the extra step to write me a note and explain why they hadn't been addressed and what was going on with it, which I just thought that took some extra time. So Nicole, I know you're on today. I just want to say thank you and kudos. That's pretty cool. And the only thing I noted for review this week or this month is as you're walking the walking path and you're close to disc basket number 8, on the side where the wooded side is, where the hillside is, there's a huge area of washout. I'm not sure what can be done about it, but someone might want to look at it because it looks like it's getting pretty bad. And then a little further around, again, still on the walking path, right at I guess it's mile marker number 0.75. There's a little tiny stream running down the hillside, and what's happening is it's causing mud to wash across the walkway. And again, I don't know if that can be rerouted or prevented, but again, somebody that knows what they're talking about might want to just take a look at it. So other than that, the place really looked good, was very active. So great amenity out there. And then just moving over to Loch Lomond, it was the same day, so beautiful weather. There were about 15 cars in the lot. Yes, I've seen it for a while. Lots of people walking again, and both of the dog parks were very active. There was a family hanging out over in the gazebo, looked like they might be doing lunch. And then there was a family with several little kids all flying kites out in the softball field, which I hadn't seen anybody flying a kite in a long time, so that was kind of fun. Just FYI on that. I didn't have any member interactions out there, but for your information, I ended up in a Facebook chat with a member over the softball field. He had been out there, I guess, for the dog park, saw the field and started asking a bunch of questions about it on Facebook. So I just kind of engaged with him to see where he was headed. And really what he was looking for was to join a softball team of some sort. He wanted to play, but had no interest in starting up one of his own. And no one was offering up that there was already one started. I'm not aware if there is, where to direct him. Yeah, I didn't think so, Tom, so, okay. And then I was just looking at Google reviews. So 2 weeks ago, a gentleman named Larry, a POA member, wrote this review on the dog park. Very nice, well-maintained dog park, separate areas for larger dogs over 30 pounds, water, poo bags, trash cans provided, shaded area with lots of room to run. So I just thought I'd share that with you since I tripped over it. And then my last comment is really just a question because I don't know much about dog parks. When it's flea and tick season, do we spray those? I don't know if you're supposed to, if you do, so I'm just curious.
We do monthly from May through September, something like that.
Okay.
Great, thanks, Rick, I appreciate it. That's all, Chris, thank you.
All right, thanks for those reports, Deborah. So Kathleen, now that I got the fix on your tile there, I'll give you the screen and you could tell us about your report for the Blowing Springs Recreation Area.
Thanks, Chris. Hi, everybody. I went this past Saturday. Lots of people were out enjoying the nice weather. It was really great to see both parking lots were at capacity. I went around lunchtime, so there were quite a few people out having picnics at the Gear Garden, the pavilion. Lots of families out together, so not just, bikers or walkers, but a good amount of families were out. The grounds, facilities, everything looked great. Trash cans tidy, bathrooms looked great. I was in Texas on the opening day, but Deborah was nice enough to send a picture of the Gear Garden opening day. It was nice to see a good line of people there. I talked to Jordan at the front office, and she had mentioned that the laundry room could use some new tables and chairs. I think she had been in touch with Joan about that. Outside of that, she had a great report. Again, just the families I spoke to were local, just there enjoying the park. So that's all I got.
Okay, I appreciate that. Next, we'll go to Tyree Park, maybe. I didn't see Janet Convoy's tile pop up yet, but calling out for her, see if she responds. Nope. Okay, maybe we'll circle back to her. So next up is Lake Avalon Park, but I do know that Cindy Thompson is not going to make it today, but she sent in her report, and I'll go ahead and read it out here for the committee. So at Lake Avalon, she visited on April 10th, and she says its overall condition is beautiful, green grass, and surprisingly no trash, all the wind that we had recently. Zip line play equipment has fresh mulch. Volleyball sand has been raked since last month. Just a few little sticks in it from, I guess, the trees and the wind. Generally clean bathrooms. Drinking fountains were turned on and working. So overall conditions in great shape there. One area for review, there is a concrete picnic table with a broken bench. She supplied a picture in her report for folks to see on the side when we send out the notes. And she says, I assume we are aware of it since it has caution tape on it. Well, yeah, okay, that is true then. But it needs to be fixed, removed, or replaced. And that is the content of Cindy's report. Any questions on that one? Minimize that and scoot it out of the way. Moving right along, then we could go over to the Metfield complex, and that brings things up to you, Macy. Macy, take it away.
Yeah, hi. So I went yesterday, and of course it was a beautiful day. I'm glad I went. But I mean, everything looked great. The only thing that I saw at the park was that the bathrooms, the bathrooms are going to need some attention. There was something brown on the floor that looked like somebody had smeared something. I'm not making any assumptions as to what it was, but it was smeared. And then it kind of had an odor to it, the bathroom itself. And the upper picnic area, the main picnic area, one of the trash cans had graffiti written on it. So that might be, something we need to look at. Member interactions, I spoke with a mom who said overall she was happy with the area. I noted that her daughter was out playing on the playground and was enjoying the day. The mom, though, did have one suggestion, and that was when the pools do open, maybe leaving them open just like maybe an hour longer at night. She was saying that her main reasoning for that was when the school year starts back up in August, the school kids get out and they don't have time to run to the pool before it closes. And I know that's another staffing issue with lifeguards, but she was suggesting maybe even looking at extending the hours on the weekend for that, for like an hour. And this month I wasn't able to get over to the clubhouse. So that's actually my report.
Okay. I was over at the clubhouse today myself at the gym there, and the Metfield Fitness Center is highly used, a little bit crowded, but it looks good in there. So things are operational and fine there for you. All right, and I guess that is it, Macy. We could move on to the next amenity, and that would bring Mr. Scott Drias into play for his report on the Worden Hall complex and tennis area.
Thanks, Chris. Good afternoon, everybody. The day of my visit, picked the wrong day to go to Reardon Hall, so the fire department was there holding their COVID vaccination clinic, and it was extremely busy. Ashley told me that they had actually filled up every time slot. So, and they were taking 15 people or 30 people per every 15 minutes. So they were very busy that day. Reardon Hall itself is gearing up for a very busy April. Hopefully the weather will hold for this weekend for the Easter egg hunt. And then the weekend after that, they're having their spring bazaar. So lots of things going on at Reardon Hall in the month of April. Locker rooms, everything looked good. There were a lot of people working out. There were some tap dancers in the main auditorium that were tapping away. Outside, everything looked really good. It's one of those rare days where I caught everybody in between the tennis sessions, so the tennis courts were actually empty. So got to take a walk around and look at the courts, saw some of the cracks that people were talking about on 3 and 4. Otherwise, they, for the most part, held up over the winter pretty well. Mini golf course was in good shape. The playground was actually in use. Over the weekend, I saw quite a few people, last 2 weekends, both on the mini golf course and the playground, so getting really busy. Only things that I noticed, areas for review, the high winds are wreaking havoc on the privacy screens on the tennis courts. So courts 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all had loose sections where the privacy screen was just kind of blowing in the wind. So if we could get somebody out to take a look at that would be good before they all come loose and it becomes a bigger issue to resolve. Also, the tree that was removed there by court number 5, the cut up pieces of the tree are still kind of laying around there by the sidewalks. Don't know if that poses a safety hazard or not, but probably needs to be picked up and removed out of that area. Not sure why they're still there. It was about a month ago when that was removed. So other than that, nothing else to report.
Real quick,
Okay,
just.
Yeah, Joe.
Yep, real quick, just so you know, the windscreens that you're talking about, that's a daily occurrence in this kind of weather.
Oh, yeah.
Our guys looking at it every day, so it might have been detached when you were there, the next day reattached. So I was just out there the other day and they're fine, but just so you know, they're made to tear away, otherwise they will tear themselves. And my team is regularly out there reaffixing. So.
Okay. Yeah, I know this time of year with the high winds, that's just a nightmare to keep track of those, but just wanted to call it out.
okay, really good then. We'll move along to the next two areas there. Mary Elizabeth will cover those. And first I have Lake Ann Park and then London Park at Lake Windsor. So go ahead, Mary Elizabeth.
All right, so I got to spend the day on Saturday with Logan. He was my leg, so I got to be his driver, and he got to actually check all the amenities with me, which was really fun. So for Lake Ann, everything looked super fantastic. Everything was really clean. The lawns were mowed, poo-poo bags, all of that looked good. The only thing that we noted was same thing I've been saying for like 6 months, just the signs that are up in the pavilion, they look really wore out. So if we could get those redone, that would be great. Other than that, that park looks good. Also on the dam side, the area around the sinkhole looks great. It's so well marked, so blocked off. Like it just looks really, really good. I did speak to a gentleman out there. He was taking his boat out. He said he lives like 2 minutes away, and he says the Lake Ann Park is actually his favorite amenity that we have. He says he goes fishing out there all the time. He says it's always clean, it looks nice, and he actually catches a lot of fish. So he must be really lucky because my stepdad never catches anything there. And then as far as London Park goes, that's like the hidden gem of Bella Vista. There's rarely ever anybody there. It has working public restrooms. They're really clean. It's just a really peaceful park that's just well taken care of. There's like nothing really to report on. It's so peaceful out there. There was even groundhogs out there that you could see. So that shows you how not as well used it was, because they were totally fine playing out there. So I just feel lucky that that's my park I get to visit. So it was great coming back, getting to do my amenities and really being out there with Logan. So it was a really great weekend. That's all I got.
All right, well, that's good to hear. Glad that you made it out there, and thanks for your reports. Next on the list is Tanyard Creek. I see Jessica has a comment.
Oh, yeah. Mary, is your cast pink?
It was, yeah, for a minute.
Okay, I spotted you from across a Walmart parking lot. And I was like, is that Mary?
You should have come and visited me. You should have said hello.
I was pulling out and I looked back and all I could see was bright green cast and I thought it was you. So I had to ask you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I would have loved to have visited with you. I'm so glad to be up and mobile again. It's like you take it for granted. I'm just going to tell you that anybody that can't get up, can't move, can't do stuff for themselves independently, you don't realize like how much it means to be able to actually do stuff. So I'm so happy to be back in action.
Yep, your health is everything. Glad you're back.
Absolutely.
All right, so moving from bright casts on to Tanyard Creek facilities. Denise is out, so I'll read her report. Let me pull it up here. She visited on Thursday, March 31st at 9 a.m. And for the first time, the lot was empty. No visitors, I guess. The bathroom cleaner arrived to do the bathrooms and did a good job, but didn't empty the trash. The pavilion was clean and free of debris, but trash needs to be emptied here as well. We picked up some trash and discarded clothing along the trails. So it looked a little bit trashy, but it looks like it was cleaned up. Randy's crew has begun their spring scheduled Tuesday morning work sessions. They are working on invasive vine removal, interpretive sign replacement, and painting the 2 remaining bridge tops and planting native wildflowers in the prickly pear garden. The plants have been donated by the AR Master Naturalists. In an area for review, she notes the erosion along the streams from the social trails is quite severe, and most of the trees have severe root exposure. It wouldn't be surprising if the trees begin falling into the creek, especially when the soil is saturated. Just west of the Dave Weimer Bridge, the trail is almost impassable and has been seriously eroded by the creek and the dripping bluff line above. Both these have been reported on previously. No member interactions, but saw a few dog walkers. It was a cold morning. And that was it for her report on Tanyard Creek.
So that bluff line trail she talks about being nearly impassable, that's on our list of things to do this summer, during drier times when we can get in there and work without creating a mess.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess we'll move along to my reports then. I'll talk about the gun ranges first and then the trails in the Greenway. So I went out to the gun range this Saturday morning, and it was nice. The rifle and pistol ranges were in good order. Everything was clean and tidy, as it usually is when I'm checking it out. It was very busy at Trap and Skeet, though. Dozens of shooters were practicing for the Sunday tournament, and lots of folks were inside registering, so I didn't really get to talk to the attendant there. But everything on the ranges and the buildings looks in good shape. Like I mentioned, very active because of the tournament. And over at Rifle, just a couple of shooters were presently putting rounds down range. The only thing I could say there in being critical of things would be that there is a sign outside the second fence in front of the pistol range, which is marking POA private property. And that's a little old and worn and painted, faded, and it could be replaced to spruce that up a bit. But that was about it. Fred commented, Fred was tending the rifle pistol range, and he was just looking for some signage that he said was on order. So that was it for the gun ranges.
I was going to say, Chris, the good news is the next time you go out, we should have completely updated signage all the way around. So,
all right, good. That's probably what Fred was talking about. So he's looking forward to that. I guess it'll happen within the 30 days then. Cool. All right, so the last thing on the list here for amenities then would be the trails in the Greenway. So everything's looking fine there. On the soft trail side, I ran into Emily several times, both times bike riding on the soft trails. And Emily is the Bella Vista city employee charged with the trails. But the trail adoption program there, I see Facebook traffic there about folks raking and maintaining the trails and doing the light maintenance that they do. They report to tree falls. The tree falls get picked up by the POA staff employees with chainsaws because the volunteers aren't allowed to use it. But everyone's really happy with the trails. They're in high use. Visitors to the area love them. I see them out there all the time. They're wearing their kits from their local areas and stuff. They're cycling kits, so you can always tell when someone's visiting. And the Greenway side, that's always full too. See lots of cyclists, folks walking it, folks taking their dogs on it. So the trails as an amenity are doing really good. That's all on that.
Chris, before we get off amenities, if I could ask Macy one question for clarification. Macy, you mentioned the trash can with graffiti at Met Park. Do you have any detail of where that was? Like, was it by the pavilion or was it by a restroom or?
It was up by the pavilion. And it looked like somebody took I want to say like a paint pen and wrote something on it.
So like on the lid, do you think?
On the lid, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, under new business, I didn't have anything officially noted on the agenda, but I will mention that in June, we have a couple of committee member term expirations, and a couple of folks have expressed the need to move along. So we're going to have a couple of openings, and I'd like to bring on board for one of the openings the gentleman who we had come speak with us a couple months ago. The one gentleman didn't get presently elected to the two open spots we had. And I'd like to bring him on for one of the open slots that we're going to have. We'll have to look at some applications too. I think we'll have more than one spot to fill. Also, I need you folks to think about who would like to be the chairperson. I've done this for 2 years, and it's fair and proper that we hand it off to someone else at this time here. So we could take nominations and find a new chairperson in June going forward. So if you're interested in that, kind of let me know, drop me an email, and we'll talk about getting nominations and then the committee votes for the successor to that. So that was a little bit administrative work for us to do, but any questions on that? All right, everyone's a lot quieter on Zoom meetings. Got you all in order, they're all lined up and quiet and perfect. Let's move on to the staff reports then. And is our tradition, we let Tom Judson start that off.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Yesterday, if the POA had your email address, you would have received a ballot for the election of the new board members. Please vote, do research, make an informed decision. If you did not get one, you will get a paper ballot in the mail once the U.S. mail gets it to you. If you're fairly certain that the POA has your email address, it may be in your spam folder, so look there. But please vote, it's important. Regarding some amenity usage, as of month end March 31st, compared to prior year, we increased the number of activity cards purchased again. Year to date, we've sold 558 more than the same period last year. So, and last year was a record setting, which is impressive that we improved upon that. And boat registrations were up 204. I would expect that might increase as we start getting into boating weather. So both of those are up. We're doing really good on the golf side, and that's really all I had to cover.
Okay, cool. We're all nice and efficient today. Good news. Yes, good news is fast. Okay. So Rick, we'll give it over to you now for all your responsibilities.
All right. Well, believe it or not, with all the rain we've had, the Loch Lomond drawdown officially is behind us as of this morning. We just are now topping over the spillway. So that's behind us. Tomorrow we'll actually close the conservation valve, which was allowing some downstream flow. Now that we've got it coming over the top, we don't have to worry about that. So that'll be closed tomorrow. The Lake Ann sinkhole, again, because of the wet weather, we are not getting the 2 feet that we need in order to fill the sinkhole. So we're working to get the second siphon pipe functional and get that online hopefully in the next day or so to really pull that a little harder so we can make things happen. POA Ranger contacts for the month of March were 1,386. 33 people were removed. We had 122 contacts by boat and 42.75 hours spent on the water. If you compare that to February, we were at 683 contacts, only 1 removed, 17 by boat, and 11 hours on the water. February was a pretty dreary month and not a lot of activity. And if you compare that to March of 2021, our contacts are up a little bit over last year. The undergrounds maintenance, the catwalk at the Lomond Spillway has been repaired, and we've been advised to install some railing for the protection of employees going out to do their checks. We'll be doing that over the next month or so. We do have that concrete table at Avalon on our radar. We'll be getting that out of there in a relatively short period of time. Let's see, at Tanyard Creek, we're helping the volunteers remove brush, and we are continuing to spray winter creeper, which is actually it's a really pretty ground cover, but it's a non-native and shouldn't be there. So we're working to remove that. Under fisheries and water quality, I'm still being promised a trout permit from the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission any day now. I've been a pest to those people, but they still haven't come through with the permit. What we can't do this spring, we'll make up for in the fall with additional stocking of fish. Still hope to be able to do at least one stocking this spring.
Okay.
We are creating fish habitat maps for all the lakes. I've got a contact who has waypoints marked on Lomond and Windsor, and he's gonna, he actually shared that with me today. We're gonna incorporate those onto the maps. Our sawguy eggs are hatching currently. We have approximately 300,000 fish to grow out on our golf course ponds before being stocked into lakes and in Windsor. We are in the process of hiring up to 6 new POA rangers for the summer. We've found a couple good candidates, but we need some more. So if anyone knows someone that wants a part-time job and likes to talk to people but can be stern, send them my way. We have the fish harvest recommendation posters are now in all the kiosks. I've been reporting on that for the last couple months. And the Kids Fishing Derby is set for June 14th at the Metfield Clubhouse Pond. That is a Tuesday, so we're gonna have to work at trying to get good attendance for that event. Golf is just getting too busy for us to have a weekend time slot. So that is the reason for that. And as always, continue to submit your photos to our What's the Catch webpage. And that's it.
Okay. Do you think that fishing, the kids fishing will be early morning hours to try to help with that?
It will be early morning, 7:30. I can't remember what I actually have listed for the time, but it'll be 7:30 and it'll go till noon.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks for your report there, John. Or Rick. John, let's go to you now for the ranges and the other parks.
Did you want to mention electrofishing at all?
Oh, yeah. Our spring sampling is due to get started in the next, probably before the end of April into the first half of May. So we'll be loud with lights on the lakes during that time. We're usually not in any one location for more than about 10 or 15 minutes. Not to alarm anybody, we just want to announce that.
Over at the gun ranges, so we've been pretty busy. March was very, very busy. Over at Rifle Pistol, attendance was up about 30%. We had pretty nice weather, but I attribute most of that just simply due to the fact that I think a lot of the ammunition for rifle pistol shooters is starting to come back. The supply's better than it was. So that was up a lot. Trap and skeet, however, lagged about 5% year over year. The ammunition supply is still not quite back. It's there if you know where to find it, but it's just not quite there yet. Like you were talking about, Chris, we did have our second event for the year, but it was actually our first tournament. And that tournament was probably as large as we've had in the last few years. There was 12,000 targets thrown out that day for 84 shooters.
Wow.
So that everybody shot about 6 rounds. So like I was saying, the ammunition's there if you know where to find it. The hardcore guys are finding it, certainly. Over at Rifle Pistol, the berm extension project that we've had going on for oh gosh, a month now is lagging, and I expect it'll lag quite a bit longer. We've gotten hit with weather and all sorts of difficulties with that project. But so if you come by on a Monday and you see heavy equipment out there, that's what's going on. We're just trying to finish up that berm project. And I believe that's it. Classes are going great.
Okay, cool. Thank you, John. Let's move over to recreation and wellness. So that brings the screen to you, Joan.
Okay, thanks. As aforementioned by Scott, we have our Easter egg hunt coming up this Saturday. It'll be the first time in 2 years that we'll be back to a real hunt, and Jessica is on the line. It's a team effort. We do a lot of prep work, and the weather looks good, so we're excited. We have 4 age groups, and we have selfies with the bunny, assorted toys and candies, and the ever popular hunt for the golden egg, which gives each one person in each age group a chance to win a special prize. So we're excited to bring that back this Saturday. Also, Scott mentioned the bazaar, spring bazaar. That's actually in conjunction with our summer kids camp. Summer kids sign up day. It's the day we open swim lessons and swim team and sign up for our various camps like tennis camps and paddleboard. So those are both the following Saturday at Reardon Hall. So lots going on there. Deborah mentioned how exciting it is to see everything in play at pickleball courts at Branchwood. Just as a reminder, we now have 6 courts that are done and complete. The shade structure she mentioned, I just want to say that, we are very blessed in this community. We have an anonymous donor who funded us the funds so that I could purchase that shade structure, the water fountain that you saw there, and I have on order, but supply chain has backed us up. There will be a picnic table and a couple of new benches that will go under there. So we really appreciate that donor so that I could make that project broader. And sorry for my dog in the background. Pickleball courts at Metfield. We are going to be taking the existing courts out of commission at Metfield likely next week. That's a little bit weather dependent. We are needing that same footprint to expand to 4 courts that we'll be redoing. And there's no perfect time because, we've got to work around weather and everything. So it's unfortunate we have to take some out to build new, but the end result will be fantastic. So that project will be gearing up this spring. The tiny cabins, if anybody, Kathleen mentioned all the busyness at the park. I used the phrase last week, it takes a village to build a village, and maintenance and construction and myself and some of my team have been working hard. They're in their final stages, and I get people stopping by on a daily basis asking for tours. So we'll be renting those out starting in May. We've been sold out at the campground every weekend for the last 2 months, and everything's going well there. Including the gear garden. Tommy's got some improvements that we're making back there as well. We had a bike clinic out there this weekend as well. And as far as Reardon goes, just so you all know, in case you hear any buzz, last week, Ashley, who's the manager of Reardon, and Jessica, who's on the line, started to deliver letters to all the groups at Reardon who will be displaced when we close down. So there's probably some buzz out there. Bottom line is we will be moving a lot of our equipment, fitness equipment, and our fitness classes to Metfield. But overall, we will not be able to continue all the programs we have during the closure. There just isn't space for it. and we need to honor the things that we find core to our organization. So it's a unfortunate disruption, but it'll be good for in the end. Someone mentioned mulch. Excuse me, I'm going to shut my office door. Of course, my dog was quiet for the whole hour before this call, but anyway, I see a cat in the background. It's times like this, I wished for a cat. Anyway, we actually put new mulch down at both Metfield Park playgrounds, at the zip line at the beach, and also at Branchwood. So Jessica works with one of our contractors every year. We have them come in and do our inspections for safety, and we also add playground mulch every year. So that's been done. Tennis, we just came off a great mixer Friday night. I was out there. We had about 42 people sign up. The original plan was 36. Jake went ahead and pushed it to 42. And it was a great mixed doubles night. It was a little bit on the chilly side, but once they got playing, it was great. We catered in food, there were prizes, and a good time all had by all. And that was our first mixer we were able to bring back since COVID, so that was great. And our next one is in May. We'll be having those throughout the season. I think Scott also mentioned the vaccine clinic when he was there. We have another one on Wednesday at Reardon, so we've been again partnering with the city. The marina opened on April 1st, and we're seeing a lot of people calling in for boat rentals right now. We have live bait available, so the early fishermen are able to be serviced, and we'll start to really ramp up once school gets out. Lastly, one of the things that we're working on, Tom, myself, some of the maintenance people, and our architects, we are in design phase for the Reardon remodel and for the new member service building. And that's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, but it's very, very exciting, and happy to be a part of that. That's it for me.
Okay, Joan, thank you for that. One thing I noticed about the tiny cabins is some of them are named already, and they're cool, unique names that you have on there. So it's nice marketing on them little facilities.
Yeah, thanks for noticing that, Chris. Yeah, that's the fun part of my job. I'm kind of a closet marketer, but we named them and they all have themes. So for instance, one is called Smokey's Hideaway. It is all decorated with Smokey the Bear. There's woodland creatures in there, so families that might want to stay, the kids will find that. We've got vintage Smokey the Bear posters in there, and the other ones each have a theme, and it'll just bring people a great sense of where they're staying.
Yeah, really cool. I live really close to there, and I'm thinking I might have to stay a night.
Hey, Joan, I'm sorry I didn't mention it, but I did see the mulch at the playground. It looked great. It looked really fresh and clean. Yeah, it looks good.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Okay,
same here, Joan.
All right, any other comments for Joan? All good stuff. Making progress, good progress. Okay, so Judy Griffin, I saw you out there. Any words from the marketing department? You're on mute if you need to hit that button. We may have lost Judy, so we'll just kind of wrap this up then, I think. Is there any other comments or dialogue amongst the committee here that we need to have? Okay. Our next meeting is going to be on May 9th, and we'll be back in the boardroom at our regular time, 4 o'clock. So if there's nothing else that folks need to talk about, someone hit your mute button, and let's see if we could have a motion to close this meeting.
I move to close the meeting.
All right. Who wants to second that?
A second.
All right. Very good then. Thanks, folks, for your time again. Good reports. Can't believe we're all set with April already in the second quarter, getting into nice warm weather. It's going to be fun. So we'll see you then in May. Until then, take care, everybody.
Take care. Happy Easter.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Yep.